So, we're live once again. Today's episode we're going to be talking about DC Comics 5G. The rumor, new reboot, the new 52.0 or new 52.2. I don't know what they're going to call it, but we're going to discuss the 5G plan, which is going to be a failure. Thank you, love. I think it's going to fail, and I know it's going to fail because they tried to reboot. They tried this new 52 plan, and let me tell you, it's going to be a complete, utter shitstorm. And I'm going to explain why, especially on the Batman side of things. So, let me find an intro song to play. Let me tell you, the day after Columbus Day is never a good day because weird shit happens. So, let's play this intro song. So, anyway, let's talk about this 5G, which is completely fucking dumb. I have to say, for a name, brand, whatever you call it, Dan Didio really can't come up with shit. New 52. What is it with numbers? What is with the new, 52, the 5G? Well, what the hell is the G for? Who knows? I guess generation? I don't know. He must have been at the AT&T meeting being I love the 5G on my phone. You know what, 5G, that's a great name for DC 5G. We got it. I imagine that's what it is. Love you more. I have to rant. I did this rant at the end of yesterday's show. How I feel about new changes to things. I gave New 52 a chance. I gave it a new chance because one, you got a good writer, you got a good artist, and the rest of DC Comics was kind of shit. I mean, I loved the Catwoman artwork, but it just was boring. I'm sorry. The Catwoman New 52 thing was kind of boring. It wasn't really exciting. It wasn't really, speaking to me. Except the artwork. I love the artwork because it was amazing. But the the whole separation of Batman and Catwoman was kind of boring because it was like they were totally two different individuals. Like they were living in two different worlds. And the whole idea of making Catwoman a bisexual character was completely fucking dumb. Completely pointless and stupid. That you were trying to reach out to an audience. It's like Batwoman. Batwoman drew bad ratings. Because one, it's on Sunday, and two, there's Sunday Night Football, so what the fuck do you expect is going to happen? And I'd be honest, I can't wait for baseball season to end, because we're doing shit in the playoffs. We lost 3 games to the Nationals. How the fuck did that happen? It can't be Sheldon's fault. I'm sorry, I don't know why I'm talking about sports in a comic book podcast, but I just have to rant. Can one of the Cardinals hit the fucking ball? Where was the bats that, won in the Central Division Championship? Where were they at? I fucking hate watching baseball. Especially if my team's not winning. But anyway, I heard from sources that they are pulling for the new 5G plan. I don't know when DC got into the fucking cell phone business of giving 5G. But they need to stop. I know you're owned by AT&T, but doesn't mean you have to be a cell phone provider. So, you're just like your owners. Unreliable. I had an AT&T phone. It was shit. So, along with the TV provider thing, shit. The internet, iffy on it. So, anyway. There's been rumblings around, and they're garnering strength over the past few months for the fresh attempt by DC Comics to drastically change things up in the present timeline. This time, they're introducing young successors to the mantle of already established DC heroes such as Superman, Batman, and Wonder Woman. This will be named the 5G. For those who've been following the news of the upcoming events, promises to turn the DC Comics universe upside down. 5G is short for the 5th generation. Let me tell you, this 5th generation are a bunch of pussies. They are. They're a bunch of entitled, egotistical pussies who feel like everything has to be handed to them. I mean, why not? They're getting the mantle that's being handed to them, so they want handouts. I don't want to see another generation Batman. Unless it's going to be Damian, then that'll be interesting, but it won't be like Bruce Wayne Batman. But let me tell you, this idea of handing the mantles to a new generation, a generation that doesn't even prove themselves worthy of it. This whole idea is dumb. This whole idea of like, we're going to give a black Batman, a young Superman, a Wonder Woman, who gives a shit, but anyway, this idea of replacing your centerpiece of the DC universe, Batman. And everyone's going to be like, how is he the centerpiece? It's supposed to be Superman. Let's be honest, if you say DC Comics, Batman's the first thing that pops up. Handing over the new Batman to a character that really nobody wants. No one doesn't want a black Batman. I know some people are like, that's racist. It's not. It's just a fact. We got Batman replaced. Bruce Wayne's been replaced as Batman by Azrael, Dick Grayson, Gordon. It failed. It failed. You know why it failed? Because nobody liked it. Nobody liked the Batman character being broken by Bane and replaced by Azrael, who nobody really cared about. Nobody doesn't like Azrael. He's a boring character. I mean, for the love of God. I watched Gotham. When he showed up, I was just like, somebody kill this fucker. I'm done with him. He's got to go. And Dick Grayson as Batman was boring. He was a boring character. Nobody doesn't want to see a Batman being sarcastic and witty and smiling. Nobody doesn't like that. Nobody liked Jim Gordon as Batman because he had a gun and it was boring. The only Batman that people like that's besides Bruce Wayne is Terry McGinnis. Why? Because you got an older Batman who's in the cave guiding this kid of not getting killed. So this whole idea of a black Batman isn't really establishing the character for people to be like, let's give this character a chance and we'll like him. It's really, we're going to pander to a shadow audience that doesn't really exist. That doesn't buy comics. If people see a black Batman, there's going to be like one thing. They're going to be like, DC's ripping off Black Panther. That's basically what they're going to be doing. It's dumb. It is dumb and idiotic. Any idea of John Kent, who's 16 by the way, taking the mantle of Superman, is also dumb. Nobody doesn't want to see a moody Superman who's going through puberty and changes. And by the way, my dog's in the background barking, so he woke up from his nap. Of all these things, nobody doesn't want to see a moody Superman. We got that in Smallville. Let's move on. He's not too happy. He woke up. So, this whole generation, and by the way, they're doing this before a crisis. We already got a crisis already. We got Heroes in Crisis, which was shit. We don't need another crisis. By the way, let Doomsday Clock end. I know you pushed it back, you pushed it back. Enough. I mean, for God's sakes, you haven't even released the 3 Joker story, which, by the way, I just fired because I just gave up on waiting for that fucking book to come out. I mean, you haven't even let Jeff Johns finish up anything that he started with Rebirth. Instead, you want to be like, we're going to do 5G. We're going to move on to that. Dan Didio is like a person who's a drunk in a bar, can't decide which drink he wants, and he picks one drink, then he's going to go for the next drink. Enough. The only reason you're doing this is because you're trying to save your own asses from being rumoredly sold by AT&T, which AT&T probably isn't going to buy, sell to anybody. The only way you could do this, the only way to salvage DC, is if AT&T's like, you know what, we need a clean fucking house. We need to get rid of people that is in charge. And we need to fix this shit. And the thing is, they cut books, they cut sales because nobody's buying. And they're trying to be like, you know what, we need to do something. let's